All right, so you finally got your hands on a Canon R5 or the Canon R5C, only to discover that's just the first step in the battle. So what I'd like to do today is take a look at what I consider the top 10 accessories for kind of unlocking the full potential of your Canon R5 or R5C. And I want to start off with what I consider one of the great strengths of the entire Canon R lines, period, and that is the RF mount. And more importantly, what the flexibility of the RF mount does if you pair it with this. These are the Canon EF to RF adapters. Now, these things are awesome just across the board. The fact that I can use my old EF with the new RF system is amazing, and I lose no quality that I've been able to see in autofocus performance or light quality when I put these on. So it lets me keep and extend the life of all that money I invested in EF lenses. But even that aside, these Canon EF to RF adapters add such a huge level of versatility with your Canon R5 and R5C, and this in particular does. This is the ND drop-in filter, and what I love about this is you can sit there and have an ND filter that you can drop right in, put it there on the front of your camera, and you can switch out lenses all day long without popping filters on and off your camera. If you have a lens that has a different diameter, it doesn't matter. This thing lives between your lens and the camera and lets you have NDs on there all day long. It's like getting internal NDs in the R5 and the R5C, which makes it a huge upgrade over what the camera has. The other thing that makes this RF to EF adapter so good is it allows you to still get great quality EF glass that's much cheaper than the more expensive RF glass. So if you're investing in this, it means you can still buy old EF glass, which is still great, beautiful quality, and really be able to utilize all the technology things here in the Canon R5 and R5C. Now that being said, once you get an R5 and R5C, you need to have a system that can be expandable. The body itself doesn't let you actually rig it up in any way, shape, or form. And that's where I consider this accessory to be my next most critical accessory. And that is a SmallRig cage for the Canon R5, and it fits on the R5C very well. The great thing about this, it gives you a ton of mounting options in both 3/8 and 1/4 inches, as well as extra cold shoe mounts, and it costs a grand total of $82. And what I recommend doing is also getting this additional thing which really sells it, and this is a SmallRig HDMI clamp. And as you can see, it fits here right on the side, and it gives me safety for both my USB-C and my HDMI. And if you know anything about the Canon R5 and R5C, you are aware that it has these tiny HDMI inputs, and this really protects it. So it's become such an affordable thing and allows you so much expandable opportunities. If you're a photographer, you can keep this cage on your camera and it'll never get in the way. I've done literally thousands and thousands of photographs with this cage on. It has never interfered with my ability to shoot, but when I wanted to switch my camera over to video mode, I instantly had a system that immediately let me jump on there and go into video mode and add all the stuff I need for video mode. So very helpful. Now, building upon the cage, another thing that I would consider very critical is a top handle. And my favorite one for the Canon R5 and R5C is this. This is a SmallRig NATO top handle. And you're gonna see one of the benefits of this cage right here. You can literally, it has a NATO rail on the top, and I can slip on a handle, boom, that fast. And this handle, once you put it on there, it is rock solid. The camera never goes anywhere. It doesn't even jiggle. It just lives there on the camera. The other thing that's really great about this top handle is because it is a NATO rail, you can put it on forward like this, or if you need to, you can flip it on backward. It goes on both ways very easily, just depending on how you want to mount it. And what I really like about this, if you see right here, it's got a cold shoe, but the most important part about that cold shoe, it's got a lock on it. So if you slip something in the cold shoe here, it's going to be locked on. You don't have to worry about it falling off. And that's going to become very important in just a second. I'm going to show you why. Because that leads me to what I consider, if you have a Canon R5 or R5C, pretty much an essential accessory if you're going to get it. And that is, you need to get an external monitor like the Atomos Ninja 5 or the 5 Plus. Now, I am actually putting the 5 Plus here as my essential one because at the end of the day, this really lets you unlock the 8K RAW recording here in the Canon R5 and R5C. and really record ProRes RAW right on the camera. It's a great option. You can put a hard drive in here so you can get tons of space, and it's just so nice having a monitor and then having that external recording really adds a huge level to it. Now that being said, if you do get a monitor like this, you need to make sure you can mount it in a certain way. And I actually think there are 3 essential mounting options that I like to mount monitors on the Canon R5C or R5, just depending on what you need to do. Now, if for some reason I am doing run and gun work, I actually like this. This is a SmallRig swivel and tilt mount. And what I can do is I can lug this on there, put it on there. I can have a very quick, easy run and gun situation. Now, if I'm not doing run and gun situations, I do tend to like to use this. This is the Manfrotto 492 swivel ball head. And I'm gonna pop this off and switch it on backwards. And I like to use this when I'm doing more static interview type situations where I know I can have control. And if I slip my Adamus in here, you will see when I'm doing interviews or static situations, I just like this because it just gives me the flexibility of a ball head. I can put it anywhere I want. I know I don't have to run and gun with it, so I don't mind the fact that it's a little bit big like this. This gives me a lot of nice options on how to mount it. And then really the only other option that I like for mounting stuff on my camera that goes right into this SmallRig cage is this. This is a Nugget arm, and it's got a 1/4 inch plate here, and it's got a quick release adapter here. And what I love is I can put this anywhere on my cage that I need, and I can put a monitor for some reason I need it. I can put a wireless device. I can put a follow focus device, you name it. It gives me a lot of things. And if you're going to get a magic arm, go ahead and spend the money and get a good arm. The Nugget arm is amazing. It has never let me down. This thing is rock solid when you use it. Now, when it comes to actually getting the signal up to this Adamus Ninja V, I'm going to recommend an HDMI cable that if you're not using these, I highly recommend them. It's actually one of the highest recommended gears I can have. This is a ZILR HDMI cable. And these things are absolutely incredible. I've never had an HDMI cable that's been this good. I usually hate HDMI cables. In full disclosure, even though this is a little tiny micro HDMI input, I've used the same cable for years and never had them break. These are incredibly durable. They're nice and flexible and smooth. They're great for gimbal work, and they just have incredible durability, especially when paired with this SmallRig HDMI protector. Now that we've talked about the monitoring solution, I want to talk about the next most important accessory I think you need if you have, especially a Canon R5C, but it's really beneficial if you have an R5 as well, and that is you need to have a power solution that is flexible, cheap, and really powerful to let you go and extend the battery life issues that come with the Canon R5C. And what I've discovered, hands down, the best thing out there is this right here. This is going to be the SmallRig V-mount battery plate. Now, as you can see, it's super small, literally fits on your cage with 2 hex screws. And what I love about this, it lives on there and allows you to easily get a V-mount battery solution up here to the Canon R5C that'll let you run for hours and hours without sweating your battery life. And as far as what you should power it for, there are a lot of great options out there, but these little micro V-mount batteries are absolutely fantastic. This is actually the FX Lion Nano 2. Really love this, super powerful. You can see I can just slip it on there, and once I slip it on there, it is on there rock solid. I can hand hold this and it just lets me go and go and go. And what I like to connect it to is what I consider another essential accessory, especially if you have these cameras. Now, what's great about these little FX Lions, the SmallRig batteries, and the ZGV99 V-mount batteries, if you look at any of those, is they actually have a USB-C port on them on the battery itself. So you don't need to worry about dummy batteries anymore. So what I recommend getting is a good USB-C cable that can go from your battery to your camera. And that's where this comes in. This is the Condor Blue 8.5-inch right angle USB-C cable. And this thing really makes a huge difference in how you do it. And as you can see, it's super easy to hook up. I just basically throw it here in my USB-C port. I come to the back of my camera. I throw it in there. And boom. Now I have huge amounts of power to my camera. And as you can see, what I really love about this system, it's really unobtrusive. I can actually pick this up, hand hold it. I can still use my EVF if I need to. Really out of the way. But now I'm powering my whole system and it's super convenient, lightweight. I can handhold it, I can put it on a rig, it doesn't matter, and very, very nice. Really comes down to that V-mount battery plate from SmallRig, which I really like. The other good thing about that V-mount battery plate, just in case you're wondering, if you want to basically break down the system and throw on a gimbal, keep the battery plate attached to your cage. It's not going to affect how you go on a gimbal. I know I said 10 accessories, but I might cheat a little bit because there's a couple more that I think are important to have if you are looking at accessorizing your R5. And one is just making sure you always get some kind of good basic sound when you're shooting. And that's where a Rode Go mic is always a good thing to do. I'm going to go ahead and slip that in there. You know, it's a really simple system. It's a classic, but it works really well. And as you can see, I can keep it all here on my system. None of it's obtrusive. It's all really contained and lets me get very, very good shooting. And I can get workable sound on the run, on the gun. Just a nice thing to have. You should pretty much always get a small shotgun mic for any of these systems as you go. And for me, the last essential accessory that I get literally on every camera I have, because it is absolutely so essential, is actually these little red tabs right here. And this comes down to the Peak Design quick release strap for your cameras. And what I love about this is I can sit there if I'm doing photography, or let's say I need to go and do run and gun stuff. I can literally take a great strap like this. I can slip it on, and boom, it goes on there that fast. I have a strap ready to go. You can see I can put it on there. I'm now ready to run and gun. If I want to get off and do video work or gimbal work, I can put it back on my tripod here, take it off this fast, and boom, now I have no strap to worry about, and I can run and gun and get that on a gimbal or whatever I need to do just to kind of clean up my system. I absolutely love this system. The other thing about it is I only had to buy one strap. You can buy these little quick release tabs separately, and it lets you put them on all your systems and only have to worry about one strap. I've actually had this strap for about 6 years now, and honestly, it still looks great. Use it just about every shoot I go on. So anyway, guys, that is my list of essential accessories for the R5C and the Canon R5. These are things that have really made a difference when I'm out there shooting, and hopefully it'll go out there and help you as you're out there shooting with your R5, R5C. I'd love to hear what you have to say about this. Leave me any notes or comments down below, and yeah, go out there, keep on shooting, and yeah, I'll talk to you soon.